an absolutely gorgeous day in the Bronx, where the New York Yankees will have their home opener for the Rays. It is their first road game of the year, Rays and the Yankees. Hi again, everyone. Welcome. Great to have you with us this afternoon. Brian Anderson, Dwayne Stats. Well, the Rays off to a great start on that homestand, BA. 5-2, the best start in franchise history. The offense, a big part of this, and sort of a lefty-righty combination with Corey Dickerson and Steven Souza Jr.
The top two hitters on the team, and they're off to great starts. Let's start with Corey Dickerson. You know, this was a guy coming into spring training, came in 25 pounds lighter. You immediately think, uh-oh, is it going to affect his power? Short answer, no. 2 home runs, 1 to deep left center field, 1 down the left field line. You're going to see that right here off Marco Estrada, so the power's still there. And dare I say it, but his bat actually looks faster this year than it did a year ago, and you see his outstanding numbers through the first week. Steven Souza Jr. refined his approach, and here are 3 great examples of that. Stay on the pitch, down and away, drive it with authority out into right center field. Cut the swing down with 2 strikes, use the middle of the field, knock in a big run there. A lot of yelling, by the way, by Steven Souza Jr. And if you hang it, he's still going to show you that he still has power, because he provided all of that in that big 3-run homer there yesterday's game. And once again, Souza Jr. still yelling. It's a good sign for the Rays.
Another part of that equation has been the pitching, and the Rays had a big step forward out of Alex Cobb when he pitched his first game of the year. That was at home against this New York Yankee ball club.
Listen, it was vintage Alex Cobb circa 2014, and that was a big relief for the Rays, because you wondered what you were going to get out of Alex. Had a few starts a season ago, but coming into his first full season, well, you see the movement on the pitches. He likes to use the curveball early in counts to get favorable counts, attack with the fastball. Then, of course, we know that split changeup, and it was working very well against the Yankees in the first start, and he gets another crack at him here this afternoon.
It's the same pitching matchup that we saw at Tropicana Field. Alex Cobb for the Rays and Michael Pineda. Good arm, high velocity, but a mystery in the middle of this rotation for the New York Yankees. Rays and the Yankees coming up. This is game 1 of this road trip, game 1 of a 3-game series here. The Rays will be moving on to play 4 in Boston, but this afternoon the focus of attention for the Rays will be this New York ball club. Peek into the Rays dugout as they prepare to open their first road trip of the year. Beginning here at Yankee Stadium. A year ago, the Rays were 3-7 at Yankee Stadium, but they had 22 home runs here, setting a record for any opposing team at Yankee Stadium in the old one or the new one, previously held by the Toronto Ball Club, whom the Rays just saw. They had 19 and the Rays 22. Day game today, day off tomorrow, and then a day game on Wednesday. Night game Thursday before the Rays head into Boston. The Rays will be back home on Tuesday the 18th. That's a night game against the Detroit Tigers. Tigers will be in for 3, followed by Houston. The Astros come in over the weekend starting that Friday night. And the Rays then hit the road, going back inside the East against Baltimore and Toronto. Rays spending a lot of time inside their division here. And one of the things Kevin Cash said coming out of spring training, for this club to be competitive, they're going to have to get off to a good start. Well, they've gotten off to the best start in franchise history.
And really all facets of the game are chipping in. You know, the starters are doing their job. The Rays bullpen has been very, very efficient. They've been very good. And how about the offense? Scoring runs a lot of different ways. That was one of the things kind of earmarked in the offseason. Can't be so reliant upon the home run. And so far through a week, they're showing that multifaceted.
Yeah, that's the key, I think, for this offense. Last year, a lot of home runs, a lot of strikeouts, low on base percentage. But this year, there are different elements to this offense that makes it not only interesting, but so far quite effective.
Well, and the poster child for that is Steven Souza Jr. Talked about him in the open, a different approach. You know, we talked about the fact that he's got the great average and he's doing some nice things swinging the bat. You know what he's not doing is striking out.
Yep.
That's the thing. 30 plate appearances, only 2 strikeouts. That is a huge indicator that Souza Jr. Has done the right thing and is locked in right now.
Well, let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Rays, presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Corey Dickerson's going to lead it off. He'll be the designated hitter. Then Kevin Kiermaier hits second, followed by Evan Longoria at third. Brad Miller in the cleanup spot at second base. Steven Souza Jr. hits fifth. He's in right field. Logan Morrison at first base will hit sixth. Derek Norris behind the plate. He'll do the catching, batting seventh. Malik Smith is in left, the number 8 hitter, and Tim Beckham at shortstop will bat ninth. Michael Pineda taking a little time before he gets to the plate, or to the mound, with the first pitch ceremonies. Joe Torre out there, Willie Randolph, and Tino Martinez doing the honors here of throwing out the first pitch. Well, the WBC gold medal winners there, well represented by that trio. And now Michael Pineda climbing atop the hill to make his second start.
Well, Dwayne, you touched on it coming out of the open. Tough to figure this guy out. You know, he's got good enough stuff. He had the most strikeouts per 9 innings in the league last year.
Yep.
So he's got the stuff, but just can't seem to put it together. Leaves too many pitches out over the plate, and they get hit hard.
Yeah, a lot of theories about him, a couple of them relating to what you just said. Some people will feel he throws too many strikes. Others watch him and see an inability to repeat the delivery. And so, as a result of that, the command sometimes is varied.
I would agree with that. I also think that he doesn't use his third pitch enough. You know, when you're talking about a starter, you know, fastball, breaking ball, and that's where we've seen Chris Archer start to mature as a pitcher, start to incorporate that changeup a little more. Pineda, when he's on and locate the fastball and the slider, it's late and it's big. Yes, he's going to run up some strikeouts, but that lack of a third pitch, that lack of command. It starts to catch the plate and balls get hit really, really hard. So I think a third offering would go a long way towards helping Pineda. Take a look at the Yankee defense, brought to you by Gold and Diamond Source. And in that outfield left to right, we have Brett Gardner, Jacoby Ellsbury, and Aaron Judge. And across the infield, third to first, Chase Headley, Ronald Torreyes, Starlin Castro, and Chris Carter, with Austin Romine behind the plate.
Their replay's not working, Joe. They got unlimited challenges.
All set to start this one with Corey Dickerson approaching the plate, occupying the designated hitter's role, starting the year with a .360 average, a couple of home runs. He got into the act in yesterday's game when the Rays beat Toronto at Tropicana Field 7-2. First pitch of this game. Swung on and a high fly ball short left. Gardner waiting for it. One away. So Dickerson after the initial offering of Michael Pineda.
That's something to keep your eye on too, because Michael Pineda was beat up badly last year in 0-0 counts, trying to get strike one, and sometimes not a quality strike. So guys were turning it loose and were able to get to him on that first pitch.
Here's Kevin Kiermaier, coming off a 3-hit game yesterday, starts the day at .296. The pitch is a strike. Off the end of the bat, 0-2. We mentioned earlier the Rays hit 22 home runs here at Yankee Stadium last year, and Kiermaier hit 3 of them. One ball, 2 strikes. Kiermaier with 12 home runs total, so 25% of his home run production here in the season series at Yankee Stadium. Two and two. Liner foul. He broke his bat. Lined that one back of first. Out of the reach of Chris Carter, who's playing first base.
And I'm sure going to inch a little bit closer now, because you start to envision a ball up the right field line, up the left field line for that matter, and all of a sudden Kiermaier off to the races as he's off to get a new bat. I just wonder when guys change bats, they break their bat, crack it, whatever, and they go from your natural wood color to a dark color. When you want to stay consistent?
One would think. I mean, hitters and pitchers both like consistency, and sometimes they're a little superstitious about things like that.
Sometimes I'll tell you, it's funny about how this game, and a lot of people call it superstition, other people will just call it routine. But you do get into a routine. What works for me, what gets me ready to play, and sometimes that does morph into a superstition.
Pitch down, and the count is full. Evan Longoria will be next. Ball lifted into center. It's Ellsbury out there. 2 up and 2 down. And here is Evan Longoria. Having 2 home runs on the year, 33 home runs here at Yankee Stadium over his career. And that's the high water mark among active hitters. Jose Bautista also has 33 here. Strike one.
It goes to figure too, because Evan Longoria has always been that bright lights, big city type of player. You know, big moments. You think about game 162. You think about opening days and final games of the season. He seems to hit a home run in every one of those too. Likes the big stage.
Foul ball. 0-2.
In fact, there's your Vegas angle. Opening day, final game of the season, Evan Longoria home run. Take the odds. Although they may be catching on.
One and two. Pitch down. Base is empty. 2 away. And Longoria is out on strikes. 1, 2, 3. Go the Rays. Alex Cobb will be heading to the hill for the Rays. Coming up on this sunny day in New York, starting lineup for the Yankees presented by your Southern Ford dealers. It's going to be Brett Gardner to lead it off, then Jacoby Ellsbury and Matt Holliday the DH. Chris Carter hits cleanup. Starlin Castro, Chase Headley to follow, then Aaron Judge, Austin Romine, and Ronald Torreyes.
Well, round 2. Alex Cobb, 5 2/3, very strong innings against the New York Yankees just a few days ago. He's going to get another shot at him here. And I tell you, he looked like old Alex Cobb, and there was that moment in the dugout, Evan Longoria, the hug. It just kind of shows you what he means to this team, and we're having a little bit of another delay here.
Conversation with Kerwin Danley and Bill Miller. Everything seems to be squared away. Tony Pena wondering what the heck was going on. It gave Kerwin Danley the what for. Well, there's Gardner, and the first pitch from Alex Cobb is a fastball missing. 1-0.
Keep an eye on that velocity too. That opening offering right there at 93 miles an hour. That is top end for Alex Cobb. Likes to work down in the zone with everything.
By the mound, tough play. That's going to go through. Base hit into center for Gardner.
Well, let's take a look at the Rays defense, brought to you by Gold and Diamond Source. And in the outfield, left to right, we have Malik Smith, Kevin Kiermaier, Steven Souza Jr. Across that infield, third to first, Longoria, Beckham, Miller, and Morrison, with Derek Norris handling the catching duties.
Jacoby Ellsbury. Ellsbury at 368. Upstairs, out of the zone at 91. Fly ball, left center field. Kiermaier over there. And a collision between Smith and Kiermaier. But Kiermaier hangs on to the baseball. Not a high-speed collision, and that helped things a lot.
Yeah, they both drifted over there and got to the proper spot to make the catch. And you're right, they're not going full speed, because if they were, wow. But you see Kevin Kiermaier, not only does he hold on to it, but in his mind, he's thinking, I got to get this ball back into the infield quick so there's no tag up. And that was a very, very heady play by Kevin Kiermaier. Jacoby Ellsbury lamenting the fact that that ball was not dropped. You know, if those two were running full speed and ran into each other, one of them would just disappear.
That's exactly right. Here's Matt Holliday moved to first, and Gardner's back in. Yeah, you love an outfield with great range, but you don't want them to get in each other's way.
No, and you need it here, especially out in left center field. 399, 408 to dead center. You've got to be able to cover ground, but let's avoid the collisions.
Holliday, the designated hitter. There's a strike. He had a day against Baltimore yesterday, walking 5 times in that game. Baltimore pitching gave up 11 walks in the wrap-up game of that series at Camden Yards. The Yankees came away with their 2nd win of the year. New York coming in 2-4. Over to first. Gardner back in.
That's precisely why I figured Matt Holliday was going to be swinging first pitch. I mean, yeah, take 5 walks, that's great, help your team, but he wants to swing the bat.
Well, that's why he's here.
Right.
Drive in runs. Not altogether concerned with the on-base percentage.
No, not for what they brought him in to do, for sure.
Oh, 2.
Only sharp breaking ball there by Alex Cobb. You know, that's what you look for from Alex as he, comes back from that injury, misses a season, gets a little time last year. He's got complicated mechanics, especially out of the windup.
One and 2. And always a challenge to face a team. Both these pitchers are doing that 2nd time in a row.
Hate it. Absolutely hated that. When you would just go back to back, because you're fresh in their minds. If you had a good game against them, typically you're going to go with the same game plan. So you're going to have to really execute, understand the fact that you may have to make some quick adjustments, but they know what you're already going to be coming in trying to do.
But if you pitched well, it worked then, so you're going to stay with it at least until they alert you otherwise.
That's right. And that's where execution plays a big role, and knowing, like I said, that there may be some quick adjustments. Now, if they knock you around the ballpark, you know what not to do, and you get another shot at them. That's sometimes not a bad thing.
1-2 the count on Holliday. Ground ball, that's going to go through the right side with Miller shaded up the middle. Runners trying to go to third, and the throw's not going to be in time from Souza. Gardner safely in. Holiday at first. First and third, one out.
That is frustrating because Alex Cobb executes this curveball, and look at that. Matt Holliday does a nice job of kind of staying back long enough, but almost an emergency swing, and he finds an open hole on the right side because Brad Miller is shading up the middle. Well, the Yankees with a threat. And this is where you don't want to get too far ahead of yourself, but if you're thinking Alex Cobb, you got a big strikeout guy right here, and he would certainly like that right now.
Chris Carter, big time power. He can hit some tape measure shots and a lot of strikeouts. Breaking ball stays in. 1-0. Carter 2 of 8 in his career against Alex Cobb. Did he go? That's ball 2. Carter's at first base. Greg Bird out of the lineup with a foot injury that has flared up from a foul ball in spring training. So Carter's in the lineup instead of Bird at first. It'll take the count to 2-1. A miss on the fastball. Two and two.
And now he has him guessing. You know, he went 92 and snuck it under the swing with good sinking action down and in. Did the same thing with the split changeup right there at 86. So what are you going to come with? Now he just sneaks it in there.
Liner up the left field side, foul. He came back with it. Carter just a little out in front.
He did make the adjustment and got to it. So now you say to yourself, do I move that pitch down and away, or do I go with the fastball and sneak it in there? Because you got to figure he's going to sit back a little bit. You could probably tie him up with the heater. It's a gutsy pitch, but right now you need to make a gutsy pitch to get a strikeout.
2-2 the count. First and third, one out. And it's fouled back. He did go to the fastball.
That's why I like this guy. We're thinking alike. But I like that idea. You know, he's able to get to that changeup and out in front. You think to yourself, okay, let me just overpower him. Another nice job by Carter to fight it off. Good little battle here.
And he comes back and gets him a cut and a miss. Went off speed with him.
What a beautiful sequence of pitches by Alex Cobb. Staying in tight with the fastball and the split change. And then when he makes the adjustment and is able to foul both of those pitches off, let me just go with the curveball on the outside corner. That is absolutely pitching at a high level.
Well, and the velocity in those pitches, 91, 93, 86, 80 on the breaking ball. So you're right, a great job there. So 2 outs. He still has Castro to deal with, Starlin Castro. And a tap, scoop by Miller, and Cobb and the Rays get out of it. 2 men left for New York. On to the second, no score. Sound brought to you by your local Ford dealer. By Frontier Communications. Get Fios TV, internet, and voice by Frontier today. And your local Toyota dealers. Let's go places. Here's Brad Miller leading off the second, looking at a strike. Rays are facing the 28-year-old right-hander Michael Pineda. Miller looking for his first home run of the year, has one in his career off Pineda. There's a .350 lifetime average in 20 at-bats against the Yankees right-hander. It's foul. Look out. Souza Jr. on the rebound caught that one in the midsection.
Yes, he did.
Two and two. You're going to be alert around that on deck circle. And almost every hitter is at least a third of the way toward the plate out of that on deck circle. Ground ball right side. The hole closed over there. Castro throws him out. One away. Here is Steven Souza Jr. And oh, what a start for the Rays right fielder, hitting .417, and against Pineda 10 of 21.
Boy, with some damage too, 3 doubles, 4 home runs. And you know that quick start here by Steven Souza Jr., that just gives you so much confidence, you know, going into a season. Always wonder how things are going to start out, and for Souza Jr., not much better.
Strike one.
And we've seen that from him. You know, we've seen him on strike 1 and strike 2 turn it loose, and then change things up a little bit with 2 strikes, which has allowed, you know, him to really cut down on the strikeouts so far.
Well, the interesting thing about Souza Jr., you know, that's a little bit of an old school approach. Let it out until you get to 2 strikes and then make that adjustment. But he's a guy with 2 strikes. If he gets on base, he can run. So it's not as if you're going to get a big power hitter who might lumber on the bases. This guy gets a hit. He can steal a base. He can go first to third.
It's one of the facets of his game that we rarely talk about, but you're right, Dwayne.
And he's out on strikes for only the 3rd time this year.
Of course he is. We were just talking about how he done such a great job in that area. He's going to strike out, so there's no question about it. But the fact that he's been able to cut down like he did, or like he has, pretty impressive. Much like that pitch right there by Pineda. That slider staying in the strike zone, middle of the strike zone, and then just bottoming out late.
Well, Pineda can be a high strikeout guy. In fact, he led the American League in strikeouts per 9 innings a year ago, when he went 6 and 12 with a .482 earned run average.
Figure that out.
That's what the Yankees are trying to do. They love his arm. Morrison pops it up short left. That's Gardner settling under it. 3 up, 3 down go the Rays. 2 an inning and a half, no score. Gorgeous afternoon here in the Bronx in New York. Alex Cobb on the hill for the Rays. Let's check in with Alex Cordray. Alex?
Thank you, Dwayne. Yes, it is a beautiful day. Well, as for Rays pitcher Alex Cobb, he said he was eager and excited to get this season going. As we know, the last couple years, he's had to battle through injuries. Of course, last season coming back in September from Tommy John surgery. But over the course of the last 4 seasons, he's missed 6 weeks or more. So he approached the season as just a new beginning. Cobb, as we know, got married in the offseason. He's back healthy, and he's just ready for big things here in 2017. Dwayne.
All right, Alex, thank you very much. Chase Headley leads off against Cobb here in the bottom of the second. 1-0 the count to Headley. Headley had 7 hits in the series against the Rays at Tropicana Field and hasn't had a hit since. 2-0. Aaron Judge will follow, and then Austin Romine.
You know what? Let's throw this out there. Why do teams shift on Chase Headley? Because he's been notoriously a pull guy, and so you're going to run the shift on him because that's how he hits. Well, all of a sudden, he gets a bunch of hits against the Rays the other way and then goes out and says, I'm going to continue to burn the shift. So if that's the case, now all of a sudden you start trying to become a hitter that you're not, and then things stop working.
Yep. Well, there you are. Yeah, it seemed that every hit he got was against the shift in that series at the Trop. Full count now.
And I love Kevin Cash. Yeah, we're going to need to see a bigger sample size. So you did it for a couple of days. You do it, until July, August. Maybe we'll think about playing you straight up. Until then, expect the picket fence on the right side.
Yeah, and the sample size, which would lead you to employ the shift, is a little larger. This is his entire career. Bounces it foul. See another full count pitch here from Alex Cobb. Well, that outing he had against the Yankees in the first homestand, a major step forward for him. You could see a lot of the old Alex Cobb in him. That's close, and he misses with a fastball and gives up the leadoff walk. For the second straight inning, the Yankees put the leadoff man aboard.
Trying to come in with that fastball, started in off the plate, take it to the inside corner and freeze Headley. The idea was right, the execution, the pitch just a little bit low, but well, you're right about Alex Cobb, and even the stuff that we're seeing, the way it's coming out of his hand, it's got that life again.
Now Aaron Judge, big time power. There's a strike. Judge hitting .211 with 1 home run. Cobb out in front now.
And that home run coming in yesterday's ball game. Talked about all the walks that the Yankees hitters had. It took a late inning comeback for them to be able to pull off that win and avoid the sweep against the Orioles. Big reason why is the man at the plate.
And a cut and a miss. Cobb takes care of him on 3 pitches, and here's that strikeout pitch.
Well, curveball, and then how about 92? Started right on the edge. Little sinking action at the end, and Judge right over the top. A little late too, almost as if he was looking for that split changeup.
Austin Romine doing the catching in the absence of Gary Sanchez. Ground ball chopped to short. Beckham will take it to second 1. First base 2 on the 6-4-3 double play. So leadoff walk, and the inning ends on the double play to take care of that free pass. Rays turn 2 and go to the third. No score. No score. We go to the third. Get the strongest ticket package and drinkware in the Bay Area with the Rays Flex Pack. Save up to 60% off single game ticket prices and get 5 lower level tickets for $75. Get a Raise Up tumbler with each pack purchase. Call 888-FAN-RAYS or visit RaysBaseball.com/flex. Raise Up. They are up here in the third. A strike to count on Derek Norris. Alex Smith will follow, and then Tim Beckham. 1-1. Pineda with a couple strikeouts. He's retired the first 6 men to face him. Now 2-1. Two.
That's a nice grab in the Rays dugout. A one-handed action. And acting like he does it all the time. Nothing to see here.
Rolled it to a young fan who already had a baseball and almost lost the one he had in retrieving the second one. Full count now. Well, one for each now. Back toward the mound. Pineda with the pickup and the throw. Norris is out of there. Now Alex Smith is on his way to the plate. .250 on the year for Smith. We had quite a game Saturday in the Blue Jays series. On 5 times, 3 walks, a double, a single, 2 stolen bases. Shows the bunt, takes the pitch for a strike. That brings Headley in. Check swing, foul ball back a third, 0-2. Nobody on with 1 out. Smith is out on strikes. It's a tough pitch.
It is, because he keeps it close to you, and you know that he can run it up there 96, 97 miles an hour. So you're thinking quick, protect, and then here comes an 88 mile an hour slider. Then you see how late that break is, and you've already started your swing. That's a deadly, well executed pitch there by Michael Pineda, or Tomato, whatever.
So here's Tim Beckham. So it is down 1-0. Foul back into the screen. Beckham back in there at shortstop. The Rays had Daniel Robertson get a start there yesterday. And now Tim Beckham returns.
Thought he did a nice job too. You know, not having a chance to play out in the field first week of the season, and
yeah, Robertson was impressive. Beckham takes a strike on the outside corner. 1-2 the count. Takes it low and it pounds away from Romine. Corey Dickerson is on deck. Beckham did go, says Bill Miller. He thought he had checked. So Beckham strikes out. The Rays are up and down 1, 2, 3. Another look. 4 strikeouts now for Pineda. There it is. And 7-Eleven are bringing a $7.11 ticket to Rays fans. Visit a local participating 7-Eleven store. Pick up a Rays discount coupon for the game Friday, April 21st against the Astros. Keep saving with $5 Budweiser and Bud Light drafts exclusively on the Budweiser porch. Ages 21 and over, please drink responsibly. Rays up. First pitch is a strike to Ronald Torreyes. Torreyes, the shortstop, hitting ninth, filling in for Didi Gregorius, who has a bad shoulder. And Torreyes has, to this point, turned out to be the big run producer in the Yankees lineup. 7 runs batted in, leading the team.
You just never know where production is going to come from. And a big home run off of Jake Odorizzi in his start against the Yankees.
Shortstop, scoop by Beckham. Throw right on the money. 1 away. Alex Cobb, throughout his career, has averaged somewhere about 15.5 pitches per inning, and he was just about there against the Yankees in his first outing. 15.9 pitches per inning in that one. Brett Gardner. Gardner opened with a base hit. Yankees had 2 hits in that first and left both men aboard. Breaking ball to start this sequence, and it misses. Ball 1. strike. Alex Cobb, 29 years old. An 11-game winner for the Rays in 2012, 11-3 and 13. 1-2 on Gardner. Followed up that year in 2014 when he won 10 with a 287 earned run average. And Tommy John surgery. And now back.
And it's a long road back. You know, like you just mentioned, his last full season, 2014. A lot of work goes on behind the scenes to get back out here. And what a relief when you can go out and compete again.
Well, those starts he made last year, so important for him at the end of the year to get that under his belt. And I really thought that start he made against the Yankees earlier, that homestand, the first homestand of the year, went a long way toward getting him back.
I don't think there's any question about that. You go into the offseason knowing that you can still be out there and still get it done, and this does not work out very well.
Well, gets away on the strikeout. Gardner's going to reach. So he's aboard for the second time, this time with one out.
Well, that curveball well out in front of the plate. You see Derek Norris, instead of trying to smother that pitch, and it would have been tough because it is a breaking ball. It is in front of the plate. He tries a backhand, and that's a do or die type of situation, and off the wrist it goes, and down to first goes Gardner.
So Gardner is aboard. Ellsbury, the hitter, a strikeout, a wild pitch. Ellsbury shoots it into right center field. That's going to go all the way to the wall. Kiermaier quickly with a pickup. They're going to send Gardner home. Throw to the plate is late on the double by Ellsbury, and it's 1-0 New York. Well, the Yankees capitalize on getting Gardner aboard. On the very next pitch, Ellsbury drives him home.
That was a pitch that had a little bit too much elevation out over the plate. Ellsbury is able to get to it. Not the same sink you see on most of the fastballs. It stayed flat. Ellsbury got on top of it, and Brett Gardner got a great read. That ball heading out in front of him. Watch this read. Contact, look, and he is gone. Top speed, and he's thinking about scoring right then and there, not even looking up. And able to get in.
Now Ellsbury is in scoring position at second with the number 3 hitter, the DH Matt Holliday, in the box. Out in front, bounds it foul. So the Yankees strike first. At least early, the Rays have shown the ability to come back. They've spotted the opposition, the lead, and the Yankees take the lead here.
I think there's so much confidence in that dugout, knowing we've got power, we've got speed, we've been able to manufacture runs, that being down anymore, it doesn't faze them like it may have in the past, where now all of a sudden you think we got to start launching. These guys are okay with, hey, we got a lot of ways we can score runs, and we'll eventually do that.
The only thing with the Yankees now, and you touched on it in the pregame show, you'd better score some runs before the 7th inning.
Yes. Yes, sir. Well, you think about Tyler Clippard and what he's able to do, and then Betances and Chapman. Now, Betances has thrown in back-to-back games, so there's a chance you may not see him today. We don't know that.
1-2. Yeah, that's a big part of the Yankees' strategy to shorten the game with those guys in the bullpen. Joe Girardi, 10th year as the manager of the Yankees. One and two the count on Matt Holliday. Two. Here's what we were talking about with Betances and Chapman.
How about Dellin Betances? 3 straight seasons he has led Major League Baseball in strikeouts for guys coming out of the pen. 3 years in a row.
Holliday is out on strikes. Big out there for Alex Cobb.
See another breaking ball right here, and Holliday was able to kind of knock that ball, just kind of fist one into right field. His first at bat off of a curveball. That one comes up empty.
It's Chris Carter. Foul off the facing of the Rays dugout. 4 strikeouts for Cobb, including the one on Gardner when he reached. And 3 have been on the curveball. That was a breaking ball. You got Judge on a fastball.
It is interesting to watch Rays starters and see what secondary pitches, you know, become primary, really, in a certain start.
High drive back into center, but it's deep out there. Kiermaier just not yet to the track, makes the catch. We go to the 4th. Yankees have the only run of the game, and the Rays will have the top of the order. Corey Dickerson, Kevin Kiermaier, and Evan Longoria due up. In the 4th inning, here's Corey Dickerson. He opened the game with a fly ball to left. So the Rays still looking for their first base runner against Michael Pineda. And in steps the svelte version of Corey Dickerson. Pitch is a strike, as we discussed earlier in the season, about 20 to 25 pounds lighter. You know, Dickerson said he just stopped eating fried food and dessert. And I was thinking about that. Here's a guy from Mississippi. It's not easy to stop, if you're from the South, not easy to stop eating fried food and dessert, because there's a lot of good food there. But he did it, and he says it's given him greater range of motion in his at-bats.
Well, we see the results. You know, we touched on it in the open. We talked about the first thought was, and I know Chad Mottola felt the same way, hey, is it going to cost him any power? Well, he's got 2 home runs. One was a blistering shot deep into left center field, actually off Michael Pineda, and then a home run, you know, down the left field line. So the power, of course, is still there, but the swing, the bat looks actually quicker than it did a year ago.
Lifts this one into short right. Judge comes in for it to make the catch. Yeah, and that's what a lot of hitters are looking for. The bat speed, how quickly they can get to a pitch and generate bat speed.
You know what that allows you to do? It allows you to sit back an extra split second to recognize a pitch, to make a decision. You just have and it's not much. It's minuscule.
Yeah, you're almost you are splitting seconds, really.
Yeah, and they'll take it. They'll absolutely take it. And I say that his bat looks quicker. I'm sure that there is a conga line of guys with yellow legal notepads that would tell me maybe not, all the analytics, metrics, whatever. But the eye test says the bat's quicker.
Yeah, I think so. Hey, and maybe to measure that, I mean, maybe it is. Certainly looks that way.
Maybe it's just the bat swinging around a skinnier guy makes it look quicker. I don't know.
Just relatively speaking.
Well, and if he wore white shoes, I mean, just imagine the possibilities.
Yeah. There's a strike here on Kiermaier. That's why it's such a complicated game. And everybody has an opinion. It's out of play. 0-2 the count. Kevin Kiermaier behind, 2 strikes. Headley's going to go to the right side of second base now. 0-2.
And not worried about the bunt anymore with 2 strikes. And so that's why Headley can feel free to head over to that right side.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
You know, as Kevin Kiermaier continues to develop as an offensive player, we've seen, more stolen bases a year ago as the year went on, and also the bunt hit. And so teams have to respect that now. But once you get to 2 strikes, you figure that's off the table.
Ground ball short. Glove by Torres. His throw is in time. So 11 in a row retired by Pineda. And with Evan Longoria coming to the plate, our Toyota inside look. His active ranking against the Yankees, tied for first with Bautista in home runs, first in extra base hits, runs batted in, and game-winning RBIs. Strike 1 here to Evan. Yankees got a run in the bottom of the 3rd on the Ellsbury double, scoring Gardner, who reached after striking out on a curveball in the dirt. That went as a wild pitch. One and 2. 7 out on strikes. 3 up, 3 down go the Rays. 1-0 New York. Brought to you by your Southern Chevy dealers. By Kubota. For more information, go to FloridaKubotaDealers.com. And by Geico. 15 minutes can save you 15% or more on car insurance. Starlin Castro leads off here in the bottom of the 4th for New York. To strike Castro, Headley, and Judge. Oh, 1 count. Liner headed toward the corner. That ball will be foul, and it's 0-2. Castro came into the game hitting .320, holding down the second base spot for New York. Ball, 2 strikes. Cobb had made 43 pitches through the first 3 innings. 4 strikeouts and a walk, giving up a run, 3 hits. And he has Castro reaching.
Yeah, we were talking, the last time Alex was out there about watching these Rays starters and seeing their secondary pitches and which one leads the way in a given start. And I think right now in this ball game for Alex Cobb, it's the curveball over the split change. And I think that's twofold. I think number one, he's not quite happy yet where that split changeup is and where the finish on that pitch is. And you can see the curveball, how high quality that has been. And so the fact that he's been able to command that pitch, get late break with it, and the fact that he doesn't feel like he's quite there yet with the split changeup, that's why you're seeing more curveballs today.
Yeah, and he starts Headley with a curveball for a strike.
Because you look at the breakout with Alex Cobb over his career, curveball has always played a role, but it's played a role early in counts to get favorable counts. And then the put away was the split change, where today that curveball, we're seeing it early, middle, and late.
Yeah, 5 strikeouts, 4 on the curveball, the other one on a fastball.
There you go. Hey, whatever it takes.
Yep. Well, it's great to have options.
Yeah.
And he's good enough and smart enough to use the best option at the time. And there is strike 3 call.
Another one on the curve. That's what, 5 out of 6 now. This one looking. Chase Headley not a huge fan. That's the other thing he's done. He's shown the ability to move it around the zone. Middle of the plate for strikes, down and away to righties. This one he backdoors to Headley.
Aaron Judge. Strike the count to the big right fielder. He lays off the fastball away. 1-1. And 2. Breaking pitch there. Took a shot, missed wide with a fastball. 2-2.
Started that walk towards the Rays dugout.
Yeah, he's trying to convince the plate umpire that that was on the corner. A little wide. This one skied deep to left. Way back goes Smith, and that one is out of here. Well, he threw him the curveball 2-2, and Judge hits it out.
You know, he's had 2 curveballs today that really have hung in the middle of the plate. One of them he got away with on a strike 3 to Matt Holliday. This one, he did not.
So a hanging curveball gives New York a 2-run lead. Fastball misses to Austin Romine. Liner into right, and that ball charged and caught by Souza, retiring the Yankees. New York with a run on the Aaron Judge home run. We're headed into the 5th, and the Rays are down by 2. second and the Rays fifth. He played an aggressive right field to catch that line drive by Austin Romine.
Yeah, not an easy play to make, but no hesitation whatsoever. Souza Jr. eyeballing that thing, gets behind the glove, head on the baseball, and makes a fine play to end that inning.
Brad Miller leads off. First pitch is a strike around the knees. Brad Miller, Steven Souza Jr., and Logan Morrison due up in the Rays fifth. Two. Well, Pineda has had his way with the Rays so far. He's retired the first 12 he has faced. Ball, 2 strikes. Two and two. Cut the miss on the fastball. He powered that one in there at 96.
And you're so used to Pineda going to the slider to try to put a guy away, especially here this afternoon. This time it's just overpowering fastball, and we've seen it sitting up there 96, 97 miles an hour.
Well, we talked about the breakout on Cobb's strikeouts and the pitches used. He had 5 strikeouts, Pineda, all coming on the slider, and now this one at 96 with a fastball.
You start to lull guys to sleep, and this is that part of the game where if you're a Rays fan, if you're a Rays player, you want to start to see some movement. Down by 2, you're getting closer and closer, you know, towards that back end of the bullpen. However, the way Pineda's throwing the ball, you may not even need him today.
Ground ball, third. Headley, high throw, and Souza is tagged out by Carter, trying to avoid the tag.
Another late slide by Steven Souza Jr.
And very courteously just checked with Carter. Said, look, I'm a big guy, but you're a little bigger, and I'm just going to check, see if everything's good.
I like to go down late. Don't take any offense. I just play the game hard. And you're right, that ball, he sees him come off the bag and immediately try to get down, try to avoid the tag, try to get in there safely, but Carter is able to tag him out.
Strike one to Morrison. Morrison had that 8 for 15 stretch, 0 for 10 since then. And down in the count, 0-2. He's out on strikes. 1, 2, 3. Go the Rays. 2-0 New York. The bottom of the fifth. MLB.TV Premium is back and better than ever. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live on over 400 supported devices. Plus, get a free subscription to At Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. Bottom of the fifth, Ronald Torreyes, the shortstop, hitting out of the 9th spot, leading the Yankees in runs batted in with 7. Facing Alex Cobb, Gardner and Ellsbury will follow. Fly ball left field. Smith back to his left, holds it in. 1 pitch, 1 out. That'll be Brett Gardner. A little conference on the hill with Norris out there talking with Cobb. Alex starting his 3rd time through the New York order. Gardner singled to center in the first, reached on the strikeout and wild pitch on a breaking ball in the 3rd, scored the first run, the other run coming on the Aaron Judge home run. Strike call to Gardner. Strike at the knees. Wall 2 strikes.
Boy, it's got to the point where Alex Cobb almost exclusively fastball, and then of course the curveball. Thing is, he's been able to move those pitches around enough, command them well enough, especially the fastball, which is kind of how most pitchers lead. Establish the fastball command, and then all of a sudden here come your secondary pitches. I just have not seen much of that changeup at all.
2-2. Hit on the ground. Miller makes the play. Yeah, the outing he had against the Yankees at the Trop, he made 90 pitches, 33 changeups.
I mean, how about that?
Yep. And 15 to right-handed hitters, 18 to lefties. Well, that's good. You're going to throw at both lefties and righties. And he had a limited number of those today.
Very limited. And we saw some early, and then all of a sudden he got on a little bit of a roll with that curveball. And I can't remember off the top of my head in the last few innings seeing one. Of course, I haven't been watching a lot either, so I could have missed a few.
No, that's not true. You're just trying to enhance your image. Strike the count here on Ellsbury.
That's a lot of trying. A lot of trying. And like I tell my kids, this isn't a try league. This is a do league.
Yep. Well, it's a big leagues.
Yeah,
yep. There you go.
Well, they're 12 and 10.
And a strike right there. A couple of fastballs here to start Ellsbury. And he's ahead in the count.
I like the way that he's been able to use it on that side of the plate. You know, not only to the lefties, you get him, you freeze him because that ball starts out of your hand, it's off the plate, and all of a sudden it catches the inside corner.
And a tapper on the right side, breaking ball again, and it's 1-2-3. We're headed into inning number 6. New York 2 and the Rays nothing. mystery to his own team has been a mystery to the Rays today through the first 5 innings. 15 up and 15 down, and his teammates have given him a couple of runs. The double by Ellsbury chasing home Gardner in the 3rd, and the home run by Aaron Judge on the curveball in the 4th.
You know, we said Alex Cobb likes to work down in the zone. That's where he is primarily. That's where he has most of his success. The 2 pitches that he's really left up have come back to haunt him, and that's what's given the Yankees this lead.
Well, the Rays hope to go to work soon here. It's the 6th inning, and Derek Norris leads off. That's a strike. Played a little wide on that one.
Yeah, as well as Pineda's throwing the baseball, and even Alex Cobb for that matter, you start to get the benefit of the doubt. Those close pitches tend to start to go your way.
No 2. You know, if you're the catcher up there, Norris, it's hard to argue because you want that pitch for your pitcher as well.
Right on.
So you'll just step right back in and look for the next pitch.
And tell him. You'll say, Mr. Miller, as long as we're getting that, fine. But, you know, expect the same.
Morris is out on strikes on the slider. So another man up and another man down. 16 in a row.
And how about the sequence? Start him out, fastball in, back out with the slider. And right now just working over this Rays lineup, and he's doing it combination of great stuff, and he's getting those pitches to great spots.
Alex Smith. That's a strike. Two. One end of the spectrum to the other on the first 2 pitches here to Smith.
Well, and now with that fastball being established in there again, he can come back with that slider down and in. Did that to him in his previous at-bat. Try to force a quick swing. He's going to go away.
And he misses up. 1-2.
Could still come back with that right here.
Roller foul outside of first.
I think Alex was thinking the same thing. He was able to spoil it.
With that one, stayed out there. Smith check, 2-2.
Let's take a look. Yes, he did.
Pineda taking a little time now between pitches. I thought a couple pitches ago he started to speed things up a little, and he's trying to calm himself. Ground ball by the mound. Castro's throw to first in time. 2 up and 2 down. It'll be Tim Beckham. Beckham out on strikes in the 3rd. Too low. Rays without a base runner, 2 outs into the 6th. Two balls, no strikes. Pineda with 2 3-ball counts in this game. Beckham trying to check. That's a strike, 2-1. Kiermaier went 3-2 in the first with 1 out. Norris went 3-2 leading off the 3rd. That's it. And now the count is square. 2-2.
Falls behind, comes in a couple high-octane fastballs, and he's got this stadium on its feet here with 2 strikes and 2 outs.
He comes back and strikes him out with a slider. 18 up and 18 down for Michael Pineda. 2-0 New York.
Cobb, save for just a couple of pitches, has been very, very good and very sharp here this afternoon. Coming off of his previous start, which is against the Yankees, threw the ball well, and you can see the fastball able to work that in, but the curveball has been a big pitch for him here this afternoon, really taking the place of that split change, and he's been awfully good with it. Moved the fastball around, good movement on that, great break and great depth on that curveball.
Matt Holliday in the batter's box to begin the bottom of the 6th. First pitch is a strike. Holliday singled in the first, struck out on the breaking ball in the 3rd. There's been only 1 walk in this game. That was Headley to open the 2nd inning. 1-1 count. Two and one. Strike two, 2-2.
How about able to go with that pitch in a 2-1 count? You see Matt Holliday expecting, I think, something a little harder, a little more straight, and he cannot hold up, and now you let Cobb back into the count.
Holliday after the fastball, fouling it.
And feeling for it. You know, that wasn't a very aggressive swing at all. He's kind of got Matt Holliday right now in between.
Two. Ground ball third. Longoria with a nice scoop and throw. One out in the bottom of the 6th inning. Here's what's coming up Wednesday on Rays Live. A day off tomorrow, and the series resumes Wednesday. Pre-game show presented by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. Tall lefty Blake Snell on the mound, and we'll hear from him. And Orestes will break down Rays catcher Derek Norris on Rays Live, the pregame show. Another day game on Wednesday. Chris Carter at the plate. Lofts a fly ball to center. Kiermaier waiting for this one. So 2 outs here in the 6th. Starlin Castro will be the hitter. Castro's grounded to second and has struck out swinging. Missed curveball. Fouled it right there. Fly ball center. Kiermaier will handle that, and it's a 1-2-3 6th. Headed on to the 7th inning now. 2-0 New York. Michael Pineda has been today. He has given the Rays absolutely nothing while striking out 9.
We saw it, I mean, from pitch number 1, 97 miles an hour, and then on top of that, he's been able to command it, and then the slider comes into play. We talked about him being an enigma, him being a confusing pitcher because of what he's able to do as far as strikeouts go, having the stuff, but not putting it all together. Well, he's put it all together here this afternoon.
Well, this is the second time in his career that he's had a no-hit bid through the first 6 innings. Back in June of 2015, he no-hit Miami for 6 innings, and a home run broke that cookie. And so here we go to the 7th. Corey Dickerson takes the pitch down.
Wow, you just came ripping out here in the 7th.
1-0 the count to the Rays DH. Hot shot foul. Look out, Rocco Baldelli. 1-1. Dickerson now behind in the count.
A rare changeup by Michael Pineda. And we've not seen many of those. In fact, his first start against the Rays, 71 pitches, only 3 changeups. But here he mixes it in the 7th.
And Dickerson is out on strikes. He followed it up with a fastball. 10 strikeouts in this game for Michael Pineda and no base runners.
Well, here it is. Follows that changeup up with 96. He really hasn't needed the changeup today for obvious reasons, but this goes to show you how they can play, how it can play in his repertoire when he's able to mix that in there and then overpower you with the heat.
Kevin Kiermaier. Strike 1.
Watch this thing just disappear, and Kevin Kiermaier trying to find it, almost does a pirouette.
He tracks this one all the way low. 1-1. And a tapper foul. Pineda has just 1 complete game in his career, and that was an 8-inning complete game and a loss to Houston in 2015. Foul, bounder into the stands. Top of the 7th, 1 out. 19 up and 19 down for Pineda. Up the left side toward the line. Gardner on the run and is there to make the catch. Just a few feet fair. Gardner corrals Kiermaier's fly ball.
Well, Kiermaier making a bid to try to find the left field line, and look at Gardner get over there, glove side. That would have landed in fair territory, but Gardner would not allow it.
Evan Longoria has been searching against Pineda. 0 for 2, 2 strikeouts. And a line drive headed toward the corner. That's going to be in there. Extra bases for Longoria, who breaks up the no-hit bid with a double here in the 7th. And the New York fans give Pineda a hand for 6 2/3 perfect baseball up until the two-base hit by Longoria.
Well, I like this too. Larry Rothschild understanding that this game is still in balance. You know, it's just a 2-0 game. Runner in scoring position wants to go out there and just make sure that Michael Pineda is okay mentally after having it broken up. Not many pitches have missed their spots, but that one certainly did.
You know, the things that mentally must go on the mound. I thought in the 6th inning, he found himself. You could see his delivery. He was a little excited. And he stepped back 2 or 3 times to calm himself down. And now here you go. 2 outs into the 7th, you give up the double, and it's a whole different process to go through.
Yeah, you're right, Dwayne, and you did point that out. And I mean, that's why I think Larry Rothschild probably saw the same thing and said, now we can't let him speed things up mentally and all of a sudden give up a run and you know, maybe they tie the ball game. You got a power threat here at the plate, and so let me go out there, make sure that everything is back to normal, calm down, and then let him try to get this last out.
1 strike to count on Brad Miller. Brad is grounded to second and struck out. Finds himself down 0-2 right now. Pineda out of the stretch here. Ooh, pretty close. But off the plate. It's 1-2.
And almost able to get the call. You know, that pitch is thrown with the idea of getting Brad Miller to swing over the top of it. And even though he did, boy, that was awfully close.
Miller is out on strikes. So the Rays get a base runner, leave him. And we're headed into the bottom of the 7th. Evan Longoria breaking up the no-hit bid with a line double. He's left at second. It's 2-0 New York. Baseball on Fox Sports Sun, brought to you by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers, by Kaiser University, and by Pinch A Penny, the perfect people for a perfect pool. The New York Yankees home opener moving into the bottom of the 7th inning. Alex Cobb touched for a run in the 3rd, another run in the 4th, and that's been it. 2-0 New York. The Rays did not pick up their first hit until the 2-out double by Evan Longoria in the top half of this inning. And so Cobb goes to work in the bottom of the 7th. For the 6th straight season, Evan Longoria, the Rays, and various community partners donate $100 for every home run hit by Longoria during the season. For more information on how you can become involved, go to raysbaseball.com/community. Cobb 76 pitches through the first 6, 2 runs, 4 hits, a walk, and 6 strikeouts in 6 innings. So Chase Headley will lead off, and Aaron Judge and Austin Romine due up. No game tomorrow. We'll be with you again on Wednesday afternoon. Another day game, Blake Snell against Luis Severino. And then Thursday night, Manny Andres and Masahiro Tanaka. And for the Rays, the road trip will take them into Boston. That'll be a 4-game series, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and an AM start Monday. And the Rays return home to play Detroit and Houston. Headley has walked and has been called out on strikes. And a shot into right field. Souza Jr. back, and that one gets out. First pitch, and Headley with that short right field porch just drops it right in there. His 2nd home run of the year. 3-0 New York.
That's where that short porch that you just referenced benefits a hitter, because that doesn't get out of any other park in the country. I mean, that was a down and in fastball, low liner that's going to scrape the top of the wall. Hit very well, no doubt about it. But big difference between a double and a home run.
Here's Aaron Judge. 1-0. Judge homered in the 4th inning off a curveball. Ground ball. Beckham at short. That's in time. Next hitter will be the 2nd baseman, Austin Romine. Romine's grounded into a double play and is lined to right. Souza Jr. made the catch on that last one. Ball 1. Back of 3rd, foul ball. It's 1-1. 2 balls and a strike. Still only 1 walk in this game, and that was Headley back in the second. Number to first. Morrison has it in his glove and makes the play unassisted. Today's Geico great moment. It was on this day in 2008. Eric Hensky homers. And right-hander Edwin Jackson tosses 8 scoreless innings as the Rays shut out the Mariners 7-0 at Tropicana Field. Here the Rays have been shut out 3-0 so far. Ronald Torreyes takes the pitch a little bit wide for a ball. The Yankee shortstop with a ground out and a fly ball to left, 0 for 2. One and one.
How about Alex Cobb in that pitch count here at the bottom of the 7th? 2 outs, just 86 pitches. You mentioned earlier how he's a little over 15 and a half per 9 for his career, right around that number. He forces you to make early and quick decisions, and look at that. When you're talking about a high of 16 for an inning, you're throwing the ball well. Problem today is the guy on the other side has been just a little bit better.
Ground ball hits the bag or not. Just foul. Up, kick foul just to the foul side of the bag at third. Came up, but it was a foul ball. And the count is 2-2.
I think Evan Longoria was with you, Dwayne. That ball's awfully close, and he's going to field it, start to rear back, and there he takes a peek.
Ball kicked up in a hurry. Reyes checks to run the count full. Well, that home run by Headley doesn't help the Rays cause any.
No.
You get a man on base, as we saw in the 7th before. You get the potential tying run to the plate. Now you're going to need a couple men on base. Torreyes is out on strikes this time. We're through 7, 3-0 New York. will open the 8th inning for the Rays against Michael Pineda, who had the no-hitter 2 outs into the 7th. So here we go into the 8th, and the pitch to Souza Jr. is down. Fastball, 1 ball, no strikes. Tap to third, even with the bag. Headley. 1 away in the 8th. Clippered up in the bullpen. Morrison 0 for 2. Fly ball to left, and he was caught looking in the 6th inning. Pops it up. Foul ball that will carry out of play. So the Yankee bullpen busy. Pineda just over 90 pitches.
Yeah, he's kept his pitch count right in order, and that's with both of these guys have struck out a good number of hitters here this afternoon.
Fly ball back to right field with some carry. Judge will go back to the wall, and that ball is in play. That ball in play. Morrison goes to third. He thinks he hit it out. Tom Tishner went out from second base and called the ball in play. Morrison thought he hit a home run.
Well, here's what's interesting, Dwayne. The Yankee outfielders gave up on it. They acted as if they assumed it was going to be a home run. You see right there, off the hands, off the glove, back into play.
Yep, that's a home run.
Yes, it is. And that's what the Yankee outfielders certainly acted like. They didn't really go after it. Logan Morrison's like, are you kidding me? I got to run hard all the way to third.
He says, I'm not getting to enjoy this.
No.
I got to run.
Well, here's the thing. As soon as they come back and call this a home run, maybe you moonwalk to home plate. You get all your get it all in at 90 feet.
Yep. Derek Judge running out of room.
Oh yeah, that would have cleared that wall right there.
That fan had a glove for no apparent reason out there.
That's not the proper way to use one of those, is it? I didn't know that you would need to sell one of those with an instruction manual. Just kind of slide that hand in the open part.
Now, if he's on your team, he's a DH.
Let's see.
There it is.
What exactly is that?
Yeah, I'm not sure here. So it's a home run for Logan Morrison. It's his second home run and gets the Rays on the board.
Well, Dwayne, this gets the Rays back into that range.
Yeah, now they need a base runner to get the potential tying run to the plate. And we've seen here in the last inning, in the bottom of the 7th and now in the 8th, how cozy it is for a left-handed hitter here. There's a hot shot. Oh, what a play by Headley. And the throw to first, dug out by Carter. Norris made a bid for an extra base hit there. And Headley turned in a heck of a play.
Well, it's taken a while, but the Rays are finally starting to put some good swings on Michael Pineda. We need this one to squirt free down the line, but Chase Headley would have none of that. Nice backhand stop. Chris Carter with a little scoop on the other end.
Yeah, and Joe Girardi coming out of the New York dugout. We've seen that home run and the hot shot by Norris, and that's going to be it for Pineda, who will get a great hand here for the New York Yankee home opener. inning. Michael Pineda out of the game. The Coors Banquet timeless moment. Just 2 hits and a run, no walks, and 11 strikeouts in 7 2/3 for Pineda.
Absolutely dominant, and I'll tell you, that slider was nasty. You knew it was coming, and there wasn't much these Rays hitters could do about it. The fastball obviously set everything up, and then that slider put you away. This is the Rays' first hit, a slider that actually stayed up and out over the plate. Weren't too many of those. Evan Longoria able to capitalize.
Tyler Clippard, the new pitcher. His first pitch, Malik Smith hits it on the ground to second and is thrown out at first. Rays get on the board on the home run here in the 8th. Bottom of the frame coming, 3-1 New York. The 8th coming. New York leading the Rays 3-1. Let's check in here with Alex.
Hey there, guys. Well, on Wednesday, the Rays will send Blake Snell to the mound, and Yankee Stadium is where the lefty made his major league debut last season. He says he absolutely loves it here. He thrives in the spotlight, and he's actually the 4th rookie starter in Rays history to beat the Yankees twice in a season. So he'll look to continue that dominance in the Bronx on Wednesday. But until then, on tomorrow's off day, he says he's going to do some shoe shopping. He has more than 250 pairs of shoes. I don't know how much more he can add to that collection, Dwayne.
He'll run out of room. Oh, this ground ball by Gardner bobbled. And he's going to reach. That'll be an error on Miller. And the leadoff hitter is aboard in the bottom of the 8th.
That looked to be on the transfer, too. Everything was in order. This ground ball looked to be pretty routine, and then Brad Miller into the glove. And right there on the transfer, it comes loose.
Yeah, there's a pro right there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Initially upset, and you recover, and you say, I'll get you. Maybe get him another ground ball right here and turn a double play.
Ellsbury fouls that one. Rays with 1 shot left. They're down by 2. Dealing with the top of the order, and Gardner's reached on the error. Runner takes off, swing and a miss, throw down, and that's going to skip into center. Kiermaier coming in to back it up. Gardner is 4-4 on the year now in steals.
There he goes. Pretty good jump. Norris comes out firing. Boy, a throw right on the money. That would have been close. I think Gardner would have got in there regardless, but a little short. It skips into center, and Kiermaier hustling in to back it up. Keeps Gardner right there at second.
A ball, 2 strikes. Well, you've got Gardner in scoring position after the steal. Ellsbury at the plate with Holiday and Carter, the 3 and 4 hitters, due next. See in the 9th for the Rays, Beckham. Then the top of the order, Dickerson and Kiermaier. Just a bit wide. It's 2-2. Lifted the other way. It's going to be a foul ball and will be out of play. Longoria down there near the tarp. He came to the wrong ballpark, that guy. Had his Mets cap and his Mets shirt on.
You know, that's one of those things that always boggles the mind.
There you go, look.
We get it. You like the Mets. Maybe you should head that way. Okay? You go to a football game. You go to a Buccaneers-Saints game, and a guy's strolling around in a Rams jersey. What are you doing?
2-2 now. The end of the dirt, and it's blocked by Norris. Full count.
And you know, it's not like anybody looks at him too and goes, "Oh wow, there's a Rams, there's a Mets fan." No, they look at you and they go, "What's wrong with you?"
In the old days, I mean, a long time ago, maybe you could make that mistake because the Mets started by playing in the Polo Grounds, which was just across the way here, so same neighborhood.
Fair enough.
But now, I mean, you got to make a number of wrong turns to get here if you're dressed in a Mets jersey and a Mets shirt.
And then maybe you hit a stand. Hit a stand and pick up a Yankee t-shirt for 25 and call it a day.
Yeah.
But instead, we got Mr. Met down there letting the world know.
(3-2) now. Liner into right, caught by Souza Jr. And Gardner remains at second. Pruitt, the right-hander, up in the bullpen for the Rays. Cobb closing in on 100 pitches. Matt Holliday takes it low. Holliday had a first-inning base hit. Since then, a strikeout swinging and a ground ball to third. Whoop, there goes a man to third base. No throw on a steal. Gardner now at third with one out.
That's a tough one to give up there because that's runner at third, less than 2. And boy, he got a walking lead. Alex didn't stop him. He could have walked into third base. And now that forces you to bring the infield in.
With a guy who can hit the ball hard. Holliday.
Be ready.
2-1.
I'll tell you, that hook has been nasty today. It really has. And he's not been afraid to use it. Needs a ball on the ground here or a strikeout. Got some work to do.
Shot toward the gap. Left center. That'll go for extra bases. Gardner scores. Holiday drives in the run. It's 4-1. His 5th run batted in the early season. Kevin Cash out of the dugout. Pitching change coming back in a moment.
At Yankee Stadium, they trail the Rays 4-1, but I'll tell you, Alex Cobb has thrown the ball very well here this afternoon. I think his final line is actually pitched better than his final line is going to look. The curveball has played a prominent role. Saw very few split changeups. There's one curveball that he'd like to have back. That was coming after a fastball on the outside corner that he thought he was going to get a strikeout on. And here's that breaking ball once again. These Yankee hitters, for the most part, not able to get to that pitch, and Matt Holliday with the infield in got a fastball that he could get the barrel to, and that's going to end the day here of Alex Cobb after 7 1/3.
Austin Pruitt in this game now, and the first pitch to Chris Carter is a strike. Holliday at second, 1 out, a run home. So Pruitt inherits a runner out there at second. One ball, one strike. (102 pitches for Cobb, 67 for strikes. Fly ball left center field. Smith will go to the wall, and that's going to be off the wall. Kiermaier is going to have to chase it. 1 run is in. Carter's on his way to third. Smith still on his knees, just now getting up after colliding with the wall in left. He says he's all right. It's 5-1 now.
Let's take a look and see exactly where that ball hit. Well, right off that top railing. And Mallex Smith caught that wall pretty good himself. trying to make a play. That's how close he got. You could see, boy, knocking the glasses off, the hat, everything. He goes down in a heap. The Yankees add to their lead.
Infield up with Starlin Castro, a triple for Chris Carter. Castro sends a fly ball to right center. Souza all the way to the wall. He runs into the wall, and that one is out of here. Souza collides with the wall in right center. So a triple and a home run. Castro's first home run of the year. And the Yankees are blowing it open in the 8th.
That ball really carrying out to right center field. Breaking ball. Castro gets underneath it, gets that carry, and it is off that post and into the crowd.
So the Yankees with 4 in the 8th to make it 7-1. Kevin Cash asking the umpires to take a look at that call out there.
So it's going to hit that metal pole. You see the glove of Souza Jr. off that metal pole, off the top of the wall. I don't know exactly what they're looking for here. It seems to be pretty cut and dry on that ball being a home run.
And a couple fans reaching, and that might be what the Rays are reaching for.
That has to be it. But before they were reaching, it hit the metal pole that separates the fans from the Yankee bullpen. So it had already been above that wall and off an impediment before it started to roll down the top of the wall. Yeah, that metal pole right there is where it hit.
So Castro right now has his first home run of the year. His 3rd and 4th runs batted in. And the umpires are reviewing it. It's Bill Miller, plate umpire, to the left of your screen. Well, the Rays outfielders have been in dangerous territory here the last couple hitters. Malik Smith in left and Steven Souza Jr. in right, challenging the walls. And it is a home run. Here's the look again.
Can't quite see it there, but well, those are those hands that you're talking about, Dwayne. And arms came up empty.
Chase Headley is down. So 5 runs charged to Cobb, 4 earned, and now 2 to Pruitt. The base hit that drops in front of Souza Jr. So Pruitt touched for a triple homer and a single in the first 3 men he's faced. Well, he'll face Aaron Judge. The Yankees have hit 3 home runs. We've had 4 total in the game today. And a strike to Judge. In and out of the mid of Morrison. He'll have to chase it. And another runner reaches. Headley up to second, and Judge is aboard.
Boy, everything going wrong for the Rays here in the bottom of the 8th inning. We get Aaron Judge to hit a tapper to the right side. Looks to be a play that Logan's going to make and flip to Pruitt. And instead, that ball comes free.
Here's Austin Romine. That goes as a hit for Judge. So the Yankees are in double figures with 10 hits. 4 straight hits off Pruitt. Tap back to the hill. Pruitt bobbles it, and everybody's going to be safe. So things continue to be problematic for Austin Pruitt out there, and this his own error. And the bases are loaded.
Just could never get the grip.
Jim Hickey goes out there to try to settle things down a bit. Still only 1 out in the inning, which started on an error. And now the second error of this inning. And the number 9 hitter, Ronald Torreyes, comes to the plate. He's 0 for 3 today. Well, what started as a very close game has turned into something other than that, and Torreyes is the only hitter not to reach base now suddenly for the Yankees. Pitch is a strike. Foul straight back. 0-2. Bases loaded. Fastball inside, 1-2. Top of the order, Brett Gardner on deck. He started this inning and reached when the ground ball got away from Brad Miller. Ground ball third. Longoria steps on the bag, fires to first, safe there. Another run scores. Headley crosses the plate. Judge forced at third. Romine up to second. And Torreyes reaches on a fielder's choice and picks up a run batted in.
Evan Longoria trying for the do or die play. Plants that foot on the bag and then throws immediately. But Torreyes scooting up the line is able to get there, beat it out, get himself an RBI, add to this Yankee lead, and this extend this ugly inning.
8-1 now. And Gardner hits for the second time in the 8th. Fly ball, left center. Kiermaier on the run, makes the catch to end it. But the Yankees put up a 5 spot. We go to the 9th, 8-1 New York. Very much in the balance. Changes a bit with a 5-run 8th for New York. It's 8-1. The Yankees, who at one point actually had Chapman up in the bullpen, switched off to Chasen Shreve, and he will be pitcher number 3 for New York.
Well, early in the season, 2 games, 2 innings, a couple of walks. Opponent's average of 250. The Yankees go to their lefty.
Tim Beckham will lead off for the Rays. It'll then be Corey Dickerson and Kevin Kiermaier. The pitch is a strike. Beckham twice has struck out. It's Romine now at first base for New York. Carter started there. Kyle Higashioka is now behind the plate. A 1-1 count. Into the dirt. It's 2-1. Seven and 2/3 for Pineda. Clippard came on for third, made one pitch actually. Got a ground ball. Beckham sending a fly ball deep to center, and Ellsbury with room makes the catch. Crowd this afternoon of 46,955.
Boy, what a deflating 8th inning. I mean, you had really a well-pitched ball game. you know, back and forth, not really in the scoring department, but the Rays were in it all day long. And then the 8th inning happens. I'd like to say it sucked the life out of the stadium, but not this stadium. Maybe the booth. Clubhouse, the dugout.
Dickerson takes a strike. A little tap by the mound, picked up by Headley, and he throws out Dickerson. 2 outs with the bases empty, and now we'll have a pinch hitter. Peter Borges will come on to hit for Kevin Kiermaier, the pinch a penny pinch hitter.
Bobby was pretty anxious to get him in the game, wasn't he, Dwayne?
He was, yes. Bob Anderson, our esteemed member of this crew. Here's the stage manager. Couldn't wait for Borges to get up there. Want to know the count.
You had to go to your cough button and tell him to stand down. You'll take care of it.
He had 1 foot out of the door. It might be 8-1, but still an out to get.
There he is.
There he is.
There
See,
he is.
He's in the starting blocks right now.
He tried to quit.
A little popper foul. 2-1. Two and two. Borges reaching for that one, strikes out. Now the game is over. 3 up and 3 down. 8-1 the final. 8-10-0 with 5 left for the Yankees. 1-2, 2-1 for the Rays. 2 hours and 37 minutes to play this game. For Brian Anderson, Dwayne Stats. Hope you've enjoyed the telecast. If not, the outcome. Coming up next, Rays Live, the post game, presented by W.B. Mason.